Wow.
I don't know what to say.
That. Oh my gosh.
I really don't
it was
know
a
what
cool
to
hand
say.
Luke. And that was so good. Like,
Oh, yeah, it was a
Like,
cool hand Luke. That's true.
having the main character win at the very beginning and just be done with it. Like, that's okay. I guess that means we'll be getting a lot of development on the side characters then.
Yes, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. I want to take a screenshot of that, of those brackets and basically have it in place for the next episode.
Yeah.
Because I think we're going to make predictions based on the brackets, very much like we did last time.
This will be way harder to predict.
way harder to predict.
Way
Because
harder.
we don't know as much, we don't know almost anything about the characters,
Right.
other than some of the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
But given that we're looking for the losing applicant,
Right.
there's some seriously strange ways this can go. And
Yeah.
I got to applaud the creator of this for coming
Yes.
up with a system that rewards a lot more clever thinking with the whole tournament thing, because
Yeah.
Gon could have intentionally lost, but he decided to do the dumb thing, which was actually the smart thing to guarantee a win, because by him doing this now and
Right.
and just going all the way,
Yep.
it makes it work. Whereas if he had done it a second time to another person, it would have been like, I saw you
Yeah.
fail to Hanzo. I'm just going to keep going until you give in
Exactly.
eventually.
He just set the tone and is like, nope, I am not losing. Like,
Right.
just go on, fight someone else because you're not going to win against me.
Right, and I like that
was
because
great.
it makes there be some real, I would say, empathy, not only on Gon's side, but also a little bit on Hanzo's side. Because
Yes,
Hanzo
absolutely.
really wants this.
Yeah.
But he's in a Kobayashi Maru. He's in a
Right.
no-win situation. He has to comply by a specific set of ridiculous rules.
Now we understand what the title, can't win, can't lose.
Oh my gosh, wait.
It works for both of them.
But it actually tells us a little bit more about how the tournament's going to go in the future.
Sure.
Jacob, we need to make bets on who's, like, we need to do another bracket thing and predict who's going to get the best results again.
But,
'Cause
okay,
I think
don't
I
even-
have a pretty good in on how this is going to go.
I don't even know how we would rate this because, like, the points aren't necessarily, like, all the same because some people skip, like, levels and just go straight to, like, the third rank or, stuff like that.
Right, well, we can come up with it as basically being basically a single point thing based upon all of them, except where they intersect different brackets, and then we can come up with a point value for that that's different. And we can come up with ones that, would seem fair and stuff. We'll do that all off camera and stuff.
Oh, boy.
But this is interesting because what they rated this on was the potential, essentially, of each hunter, and they rated Gon and Hanzo as being the highest.
Right.
And you know what I think that is primarily? Is those are the two highest, like, senses people. They are they are the most kind of
They're the most hunter-like out of...
Yes, they seem to have the most natural tendencies towards
Sure.
being a hunter.
Right.
Leorio, really bad setup. Really bad.
Yes.
He has, I think, 2 or 3 fights or something.
Right, and that's where I think most of the conflict is going to come in, with Leorio. Now, I'm curious. I was surprised though that Hisoka didn't score higher because even though, because combat-wise he's fantastic, right? Now, maybe not senses-wise because Gon was able to sneak up to him on him and stuff like that. But also, everyone was saying like, "Oh, Hisoka, I don't want to fight him," or I do want to fight him.
No,
or
Hisoka's
keep
was
an eye on him.
Hisoka was pretty high. He's on the left side.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I remember that.
Same with Killua. I think actually Killua had the lowest on the left side. His setup within the brackets was pretty low.
I love the fact that basically Killua was like, wait, they're saying Gon's better than me? Like, okay, he's my friend, but come on, I'm better than he is. Yeah. And now Gon's just won immediately, right at the start. And I could see that annoying Killua to quite an extent, really getting under his skin.
Definitely. You know what? I think I'm actually just gonna grab a screenshot of this really quick. So we'll come back in the discussion in about 2 seconds. Okay, so we've got this up, and this is quite telling. So I was a little bit wrong about the Kurapika and Hisoka brackets
Right.
being on the left side. They're actually on the right side. But what we get here is a range of people with a number of fights equal from 2 to 5 opportunities.
Right.
And they rated Hanzo and Gon as having the highest potential.
Right, with Pokle, Kurapika, and Hisoka being next at 4.
I would say that... Oh, wait, you're right. Yeah. Yes. Pokle, Kurapika, and Hisoka all have 4 opportunities.
Right.
Whereas Killua...
And I forgot the guy's name.
Botaro or something
Yeah.
like that, they have 3 opportunities.
And then
Gitaraker and Leorio both have 2. So that's pretty bad. Like,
yeah.
there's a lot of ways that they're basically saying either, okay, Leorio, you are getting basically dragged around with, you know, you don't have a lot of chances here. Gitaraker also, you've been cheating, maybe. So maybe
Sure.
we don't see you really as a potentially good hunter because we haven't had an actual full evaluation of whether or not your abilities are legit.
Yeah.
Because you could have been getting help from Ahsoka.
Okay.
Also, we don't know almost anything about the older gentleman
Right.
on the right side of this whole bracket.
Yeah. And not much about Pokle either.
Yeah, we know a tiny
bit, yeah.
Tiny bit.
Um,
But what this looks like is ending up with potentially Leorio as being the kind of obvious not going to make it this
sure.
this way.
Yeah. Well, okay, so...
But here's the thing that's actually really sick. You know what they could do with this, guys? Hisoka could intentionally lose
Yep, that's...
to get to the very end and choose who he wants to be
Possibly.
taken out, basically.
Here's the reason why I was thinking that was going to be a thing that would happen. But Gon's out of the tournament now.
Right.
So like he's going to fight Kurapika right at the beginning, right? Either one of them could win. Kurapika could win or he
Yes.
could lose, right?
That's true.
And the one after that, the Botaro guy or whatever, that's the one that I think is going to go on to fight Leorio. Unless for some reason Hisoka specifically wanted to fight Leorio just so that he could beat Leorio, so that then Leorio would have one fight
Right.
or he would lose.
Here's something I'm a little bit concerned about is the idea that Gitaraker and him are on opposite sides.
Right.
They can both intentionally lose at strategic points.
Yep.
Or win.
Well, Gitaraker can't really do that unless he wants to be the person on the last fight.
Right. So maybe Gitaraker will have a very interesting fight with someone like not Hisoka, Killua, maybe?
Sure. Yeah,
well, no,
possibly.
no, because Killua
okay.
will have to fight. See,
All
this
right.
is interesting.
So-
It almost has to go specific ways, but
Almost,
every time we
yeah.
try and logic it out, there's a little bit of
Okay.
not so sure about
Right.
how
So
to go.
so let's take this one at a time. Hanzo versus Pokle. I think Hanzo's going to win.
I think Hanzo will win.
Yeah.
So Pokle moves on.
Right. Pokle moves on to fight Killua.
Uh-huh.
Do you think Killua or Pokle will win? I think Killua.
Yeah, Killua will win. Yeah.
Right. And then Gitaraker versus Pokle.
So you're saying just Pokle gets escalated all the way out to the top
Well,
and then loses?
I mean,
the whole
okay, we haven't really seen him fight.
Right.
So he has his tranquilizer things and all that, but he's not going to be able to really hit Killua. Killua's too fast. And then Gitaraker, would poisons even work on him?
Yeah. What I think is this whole left bracket means nothing, guys.
Right, it's all about the right bracket.
It's all about the right bracket now.
Okay.
And the way this works is Hisoka has the ability to lose intentionally.
Sure.
To put himself in a specific instance where he could fight someone.
Right, okay.
And that's where I think this is going to get interesting. Because they could do it where Kurapika, he just keeps getting destroyed by these masters, and then he has to fight Leorio. And the rough part is that and that's Leorio and Kurapika, they have to fight each other, and one of them's going to lose, and one of them gets put up against someone who's maybe not as good, like Pokle or Gitaraker.
And here's the thing that could be crazy. All right, Leorio, he only has 2 fights, right?
Yeah.
So and let's face it, Leorio of all the people here, I would say he has the least combat potential. from what we've seen so far.
From what we've seen so far, yeah.
So, unless the Botaro guy or whatever is actually really bad, but I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
So, Kurapika could let Leorio... Now, this would probably not go over very well with Leorio.
Right.
But he could let Leorio win because he would have the better chance of fighting one of the other people. And if it was someone like Gitaraker, I could see that being a really cool fight, especially if Hisoka and Gitaraker are, members of the Phantom Troop. You know?
Oh, I didn't think about that. Possibly, because let's say Gitaraker, he wants to be the last person involved in the fight.
Sure.
It's either one of them, Hisoka or Gitaraker. They want to be in the last fight, so they just keep losing intentionally.
Sure.
And then at the last person, they just completely destroy them. They don't kill them, of course. But Gitaraker, I think he has actually more chance of being someone in the Phantom Troop than Hisoka.
Okay.
Because Hisoka, I feel like, is the kind of person who's really good, but I don't feel like there's enough evidence to say that he's actually in the Phantom Troop, but he might be wanting to join the Phantom Troop.
I could see that. And
Gitaraker might be his reference point, is like, I will help you as part of the Phantom Troop to get in there.
And I would very much like to see that, because I want to see how Hisoka sort of would get brought into the fold.
Right.
And then, of course, how the conflicts he would cause with the members.
Yeah, here's a good point, though. A lot of our characters that we like in this are probably going to become hunters now. Because of the way this is set up.
Only one person's going to lose. Now, Gitaraker. He seems like enough of a sort of a just scary person, right?
Right.
That he seems like an early on just sort of generic antagonist sidekick to Hisoka.
Sure,
so I could see him being the final opponent.
And lose. Against Kurapika.
Yeah.
Or Leorio.
Sure.
I feel like, though, if he fights Leorio has to lose.
Yeah, Leorio doesn't really have a way to beat him.
That's where I think this will hurt, because Leorio he doesn't have a good enough reason. His why for being here isn't strong, and I think that's what we're going to go through, is everyone has their reason for being here. Hanzo has trained his whole life to move and develop himself. And being a hunter I think is the natural extension of that. Exactly. He wants to learn what hunters know and all that. Gon's reason is very personal and very emotional and powerful. Good. We don't know what Poklay's reason is. We know actually Killua's reason is being a bit carried by his OP powers, Yeah. But Gitaraker, I don't think he has a good enough reason so far. I don't think Leorio does either. So I think it'll be just the statistic thing. They're set up to lose, so one of them will probably lose.
What if it was something where Killua said that the person he didn't want to fight was Poklay? So what if he actually threw the fight for Poklay because he wants to fight someone interesting? Because the whole reason he did this Hunter's exam was because he thought it would be fun, a fun challenge, right?
Oh, that's right. Killua has to fight either Hanzo or Poklay, and if Hanzo, I'd say, is clearly better than Poklay, he'll have to fight the person he doesn't think he would want to fight. It won't be interesting, so will Killua lose
specifically so that he can fight Gitaraker
and then just curb stomp him?
That would be awesome.
Okay, I like that.
And then that would make it so that Gitaraker would have to fight either Kurapika or Leorio. And here's the other thing. If Killua just curb stomped him, he might not be fighting at full potential. So that way they can have this guy that they built up to be super scary and super strong and just like this killing machine. But now it's damaged. So it's like, new variables into the equation, right?
Absolutely.
Who actually will win? Would Leorio be able to use, the fact that Gitaraker is damaged to his advantage, even though he can't fight very well necessarily?
Maybe. But I think then Gitaraker might use his little transforming thing to kind of screw with people, and also maybe even help repair himself. However, whatever his
and that will be very cool to see what his powers are and all that.
Do you think that this will be an actual tournament where they will have powers? Because I don't think they necessarily have to showing how that Hanzo and Gon fight went.
That's very true. And I would like it to not be just based on powers, but we do have people in here that very clearly have powers.
Yes.
Killua and Hisoka, kind of Kurapika, and potentially the Botaro guy.
Where actually this could get really disturbing is Pain.
Well, yeah, and
can
I
see
get the
actually
feeling
his-
Gitaraku and Hisoka are going to be all about that.
I was actually thinking that Hisoka in particular might lose in particular to maybe sate some of his
because he wants to keep going. He can't kill anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
But he wants to be able to keep going.
Exactly. He wants to be in as many of these fights as possible, and he's just
Sure.
gonna mar a whole bunch of people and then like concede or something.
But then there's also the idea that the longer he fights, the less impressive his opponents are going to be.
Sure, but he's also maybe seeing how he can make sure, like, okay, should I let this one through? Should I not? Okay, this one I'm going to beat finally because I don't think this person should be involved and stuff.
Yeah,
and that would be his way of testing the crowd because he'll get to be involved in 4 fights. That's quite a few.
That is quite a few. Yeah. Now, do you think there will be?
This also leads to the potential of. Sorry. It also leads to the potential that he fights Gitaraku at the end.
That would be cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that would go.
Or maybe he and Killua have the same problem, and they don't like the way this thing goes up, and they are the ones that fight it.
And they end up fighting each other?
Oh, I don't like it as like...
So maybe Killua curb stomps Gitaraku, but then, like, surrenders?
Right, because Gitaraku's not going to surrender.
Right, exactly. And he's like, oh, he's too easy, okay. And I can't kill him, so, whatever, I'll surrender. Hisoka looks interesting,
Right.
But then it's one of them can't make it, and they could have Killua not make it and still have that be okay, because it's like, oh yeah, I just did this for the fun challenge. It was fun.
But that's the thing. Is this tournament going to be one where the hype dies down as it goes to the later stages, or will actually escalate in a strange way by having people decide to lose when they aren't actually losing? And Hanzo's behavior is a kind of a foreshadowing of that potential.
Exactly. And with a tournament set up like this, even though some of the tension is relieved because certain characters leave the tournament like Gon just did, there's that encroaching sense of like, oh crap, who's gonna get eliminated? And for that tension to stay as strong as possible, I think they're going to need to keep at least one main character of the gang in there.
Yeah, I don't think so though.
Okay,
they could be, but like, why do they have to keep them in there to keep it interesting? Hisoka is effectively part of the gang of main characters.
That's very true.
Even if you're saying that's not true, Leorio just has to lose his first fight, and he will be a part of the gang.
Right?
There.
Yes, that's.
I think Leorio has the highest percentage chance of losing this whole thing.
Right.
The question is, are people going to do what we're suspecting, where they will surrender even though they're
winning?
Yeah. I'd say the people that have the highest chance to do that are Hisoka, Gitaraku, and Killua.
Sure. I could see that.
Yeah. Also, to an extent, Killua, I don't really know why he wants to be a hunter, other than he thought it would be cool.
I don't think he has any other
He doesn't have a strong reason.
Although, I think we will get to see a cool new... I mean, we already have started to see this new side of Killua.
Right.
Because of how peeved he was that Gon got ranked better than him.
Yes, so that's a good point. Why was Pokle ranked higher than...
Killua? Possibly because he took the initiative and struck quickly. Killua was too carefree about it.
Remember, it's the entire exam, Jacob.
That's true.
The entire exam.
And we haven't really seen what... Pokle did for the rest of it. Mm-hmm. He did pass the third phase way before the rest of the party, the gang, because they came in at the very end.
Oh, that's true.
So there's that.
That is true. And to poor Killua's credit, he was stuck with a team that was making things very difficult.
Yes, and that's probably one of the reasons also why Gon scored so high. Because he was able to,
make sure that everything kept going.
Exactly, even though he didn't have, maybe the best team, and and also coming up with that idea of breaking through the wall.
Yeah, and Leorio was not helpful in that regard at all.
Right, which
he also
explains why he
did not do well at the swamp.
Nope.
Yeah, I can see why Leorio, beyond just his character,
Right.
Also, his results spoke for themselves.
Yes.
But that's kind of what we expected. But Gitaraker, I got to expect that it's about the cheating. Like the fact that he was collaborating with Hisoka.
Right.
Or maybe the fact that he, there's some impressions about him that they don't like.
That's true. Yeah.
Also, if they noticed his little talk with Hisoka, there might have been a little bit of a, we don't really trust this guy. I don't really like this guy.
Yeah.
Because they said there were examiners watching them through the fourth part.
Yep.
So maybe they didn't notice, and the whole thing of him burying himself and the talk prior to that.
Sure.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Who do you see as being just an instant win? Their fight will be no contest. Just someone will win, and it will be very obvious, very clear. It'll be the fastest fight in the whole tournament, potentially. Because some of them we can't predict who will be fighting who. Right. But if you had to choose one that could happen, which one would be the fastest?
Killua versus Pokle.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose... yeah.
Really? Okay.
Other than, possibly... well, no, because Hisoka... Okay, if Hisoka threw the fight with Kurapika, then... But then he'd probably throw the fight with Bodoro, too. Yeah, so Killua with Pokle. I think Hanzo will beat Pokle. Pokle will go to fight Killua. Killua will just be sick of it, so he will either throw the fight immediately to get a more interesting fight, or he'll just curb stomp Pokle, or both.
Yeah. I could see there being another weird one on the side over there with Leorio, and Leorio loses really badly.
Sure.
Really badly.
Yeah, especially if he's up against, like, Hisoka.
Hisoka, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, because Leorio made a point of saying, like, no, I wouldn't give up if I was in Gon's position. It's like, really? You sure, man? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So, one of the things I'm terrified of is, let's say, Killua has to deal with someone like that. Does he just rip out his claws and start tearing their flesh off? Or just slowly start torturing them? Because, you know what I'm really thinking about Netero is he's not thinking about the psychology of these characters.
Right, because you have to break them mentally.
Yeah. So that finds out who's going to lose. But if you only let one person lose the whole thing, what that creates is this idea that all I have to do is do slightly better than the worst person here. And what that creates is a very, I would say, not... a very toxic kind of situation for those that are of the amoral persuasion.
Right. Well, it also means that if you're ever in a situation where, say, one of them does end up getting tortured until they surrender, then they have to go from being tortured to then fighting the next fight. And
and that's really not cool.
Yeah, like you could get something where if the person is really mentally broken in one fight, then they're way more likely to surrender on all the next ones because they're just like, I can't handle this. They just start freaking out.
Yeah. Whose interview do you think he listened to the most in here? I'm looking at this whole setup.
Either Kurapika or Hisoka.
I actually don't think it was either of them.
Really?
I think it was Bodoro, the old guy. He basically said, I've got my eye on Hisoka.
Right.
So I'm watching him.
And the person I at least want to fight is
the kids. He put them on the complete opposite side of the bracket.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this whole list, and Gon, he kind of already was kind of setting up to be one of the better applicants, I would say.
Yeah.
But he didn't listen to Killua. He didn't really listen to Gitaraker really, I think he didn't really give him any positives or negatives. And the rest of the gang, I think in general, he didn't really listen to that much, especially Killua.
Right.
But also Kurapika's, his things were more wise rather than actually about how it would end up. Because I'm looking at Kurapika's setup, and if the gold guy is any good at all, Kurapika's going to have to fight Leorio, which he said he didn't really want to do. So I think the old guy kind of got his wish here.
Sure.
He's going to most likely fight someone that's either at his level,
right,
or at the very least, he's going to fight a worthy opponent that probably won't be Hisoka. At least Netero, unless Hisoka does the thing where he intentionally loses.
Right.
Then he'll lose that fight most likely, and then be forced to fight Leorio, or he'll just win and he'll be done.
Right.
So he gets a pretty sweet setup here.
He does,
despite being a 3-fight person.
Right. And this is really interesting because with the way that this is set up, they're basically they're reinforcing the idea that if there's like a random side character in there somewhere, they're actually probably going to end up being really good rather than really bad.
Right.
Like, they don't need to necessarily build them up because it naturally makes it more dramatic when they are good as opposed to just getting beaten.
Right. Exactly. So, who do you think is going to be the surprise person in here that'll actually be really good? I want to say Kurapika.
Okay. I want to say it was Hanzo already.
Oh, Hanzo was the one?
Yeah,
sure.
Because he was
go.
very much a joke kind of character up till now. Like, okay, he's a ninja, he's fast, all this stuff.
So he's going to win against Pokelave just easily?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I think it would be very easy. We haven't seen Pokelave really be able to do anything especially impressive other than keep quiet and poison his arrows.
Right, sure.
So against, a ninja, like Hanzo will probably catch the arrow in midair or something like that.
Or he'll just let it hit him and then he'll punch him and they'll be like, I've developed an immunity to Iocane power.
Exactly, yeah. Something crazy like that. And then Killua is just like, oh, I have to fight Pokelave? This sucks,
Right. It would be interesting to see Hanzo and Killua fight each other.
That would, yes. Ninja, assassin, kind of similar. No.
Here's a thought, Jacob.
Okay.
The tournament doesn't finish. No. Think about it.
Yeah.
Whatever poor soul ends up having to fight Gitaraker kills them automatically, gets disqualified, and everyone else becomes hunters. And that's the whole plan now, is Hisoka and him will go out and plan, and they'll be like, you know what? Let's just make this easy. And they resolve the fight, instantly like that. Problem is there'll be a lot of fights, prior to that.
Right.
So it's not like... Maybe Netero was thinking about that. Maybe Netero planned that in advance, so he put Gitaraker's fight to be way after a bunch of Hisoka's fights, so it's not necessary for Gitaraker to kill anyone.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think Hisoka really has any challenges with the people he's got lined up there.
No.
We don't know what the old guy is capable of, so he could be pretty legit. But I think Kurapika has the biggest X factor right now because of the... At least as of this episode ending, because of the red eyes. Absolutely. We don't know what that means fully.
Yep. And he did seem to gain some pretty crazy strength when they were activated.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So... I think I have an idea for how we can do these brackets, Jacob.
Okay.
So each fight that we predict correctly, we get a
point.
Point, yes.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter, what it is, all up until the final 3 fights.
Okay.
And those fights are 2, 3, and then 5 or something. What do you think?
No. It just...
We don't have to do a slap or anything. I'm just doing it for fun,
Well, yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
Okay, so when we're done with this episode, in between this and the next one, we'll come up with a whole bracket system thing there, how we'll predict it, and then we'll let you guys know what we're going to do in the next video. But this was fun, guys.
This was a great episode.
There's so much to say just about Gon and Hanzo's actual fight there.
Yeah.
And it really speaks more to, I would say, Gon, but we don't really know what that resolve is fully based upon other than the father thing, but I think there's more to it than that. And this is maybe a little bit more of an opening into the internalization of Gon's stuff.
Absolutely.
And we'll see more of that maybe when he sees his friends getting hurt and experiencing the same kind of stuff.
And the fact that they took a long time for him to bring it up, I think, is really good because because that's showing that he's basically been bottling up, and that it really is a deep reason for him to be here, not just something casual and that's or that he's just talking about all the time. That it means that it's more precious and important to him.
Absolutely. Okay, guys. Well, if you want to see the next episodes, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon's early access. And get on that Discord and chat with us about anime and stuff. We'd love to have you there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.